The topic for today is insecurities. I got them, you got them, so come on, let's talk about it. Come have a seat, let's go. Good morning, it is approximately 8:28 a.m. I'm up bright and early, thankful for this day, this beautiful sunny day, and I'm doing another video for you guys. I was at work and I was just sitting here just thinking to myself about how I can better myself, what am I lacking, just thinking and talking to myself why I am the way I am, why do I have this, why do I like this, maybe I said something wrong to somebody. Like, I was just sitting here thinking about insecurities. Like I said in the beginning, we all have them. Nobody's exempt from insecurities, whether that's externally or internally. Me, I feel like the insecurities that are most important to work on is internal. Because guess what? When you work on your inside, your outside is magically. When you work on the, when you work on it, let me work it. When you work on yourself internally, it's gonna show on the outside, and that's a promise. That's a promise. So since we're talking about insecurities, how about I start with myself? Because I'm the only one here. Nobody else can talk. Hello. To start with myself, and I honestly hate talking about myself. When I'm with somebody else, I would rather you ramble on and talk about yourself than me talk about myself. Since it's only me, I want you guys to relate, because I may say some things that you guys might be like, oh, you're right, I can relate to that. So anyway, let's talk about my insecurities. Let's talk about the, I don't want to say least important, but it's not as important as internal, but let's talk about external insecurities. So my entire life, I've been on the bigger side. I've been a thick girl my entire life. I never really had any insecurities about it. I've been confident in myself. I love myself since I've been born, and that's not being cocky. That's just, I don't know, maybe I was just born confident, I don't know. But anyway, I hate saying that because it sounds cocky, but I'm not, I promise. But it wasn't until recently, probably maybe like a year or two ago, that I started not to like who I was. I started not to like how I looked, because it started getting out of control. I didn't care enough. I was too careless with it, you know, eating and everything. Any emotional eaters out there? Me, hello. When things are going on, I eat. When I'm sitting, when I'm stagnant, I eat. But I just, over time, I was going through a lot. Who isn't? But anybody can relate. I'm sure a lot of us out there, sometimes we don't like ourselves. And it wasn't until a year or two ago to where I started to lack my confidence, being careless about myself and how I looked. It was a lot going on internally that made my external self not be great, not be the best version I could be. And those things were going on, but I didn't care, because emotions, a lot of things are going on. I wasn't myself, and depression and stuff like that. Anyway, I'll get more in depth into it, but I just want to list my external before I get into the good stuff. Another external insecurity of mine are my hands. I have big palms. I feel like I have big palms. You may not think so, but I think so. I feel like I have man hands. My hands have always been big. I don't know, it may be a genetic thing. I don't know. But I've always been insecure about my hands, but it is what it is. They're my hands. There's nothing I can do about it. Moving on. Another external thing, my feet. I feel like I wear a size 10. I wear a size 9.5, but I always wear 10s to give my feet room. It is what it is. Genetics, nothing you can do. They cute though. that's probably about it externally. I mean, there's more, but it is what it is. The thing about external beauty is you are who you are. That's all my things externally. Now let's go internally of what. That's all my things externally. Those are all my things externally that I struggle with, that I struggled with. Those are pretty much my biggest insecurities externally, but what I have learned to do is learn to accept myself. I can't talk. Let me take a sip of pink drink. Let me clear my throat. Excuse me. Back to it. But what I've learned and I've taught myself is in order to change something, you have to accept it. And if you can't change it, you still have to accept it. Because guess what? You're unique the way you are. So learn to love yourself. I love me for who I am. And speaking of loving me for who I am, let's go internally. We're going to talk about internal insecurities. So something I have struggled with my entire life up until about a couple years ago was saying no to people, being a people pleaser. I've been like that my entire life. Don't know why. I was always a shy kid, never wanted to get in trouble. I didn't want people to dislike me. I didn't want bad juju around me, or I just wanted to make other people happy. And I've learned that this is my life. And I'm not in charge of anybody else's happiness but mine. I had to learn to say no. Let me tell you, it was the hardest thing in my life. It was the hardest thing in my life to put myself first before others. But I've learned it, and now I can say no to anybody. Now I've learned to say no to things I don't want to do, or I'm not comfortable doing, or I can't do right now. Yes, I'm still helpful. I'm still there. Of course, sometimes I'm going to drop things for people to help people. Of course, I'm just a nice person in general. But if I can't do it, I can't do it. But now I can say no. Guess what? Guess what? No. That's one of my insecurities. That's the biggest insecurity internally that I've, you know, gotten over. And I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable and say it, because maybe you can relate to it. Maybe you have a hard time saying no. Maybe you're a pushover. Maybe not. Maybe you're looking at me like I'm crazy and saying, how can you be a pushover? It's your life. Hey, that was my biggest hump. Right now I've learned so much to put myself first and make sure I'm happy. Because if I'm happy, then I'm going to externally put out that happiness and you know, and be a better version of me. And if you're happy and you learn to put yourself first, you're gonna be a better version of yourself. And guess what? When your insecurities are fixed, externally, it's going to show. And you're gonna start to take care of yourself more. You're gonna start to care more about you and accept who you are more, because you worked on yourself internally. Anything you struggle with internally, whether it be being a pushover, whether it be you going through something mentally, depression, anxiety, any stressful situation, whether you think you're not smart enough, whether you think you're not pretty enough, whether you think something's wrong with you, nothing's wrong with you. Work on what's inside first. Work on you. It's okay to put you first. It's okay to work on you. It's okay to put time aside to fix yourself. If you gotta isolate yourself from people, you gotta do what you gotta do. And that's the best thing. My solution to bettering yourself is to isolate yourself. Not in a bad way. I mean isolate yourself. Only isolate yourself if you're working on yourself. Only isolate yourself if you're bettering who you are. When you isolate yourself, I suggest a journal. So, and write anything, any thoughts that come to your mind. Ask yourself questions. Why am I this way? Why am I, write a prompt. Like you're in school, write an essay, write a prompt. And your prompt question is, why am I this way? Why am I sad? Why am I a pushover? Why do I feel I'm not smart? And then after that, I need you to big yourself up. I need you to say great things about yourself. I need you to write, what am I good at? What do I feel I do excel at? You are who you are. You are unique. You are beautiful. You are handsome. You are the way you are because this is how I'm supposed to be. I am the way I am because this is how I'm supposed to be. I'm me. I am me, and nobody's gonna change that but me. I have to learn to accept me in order for others to accept me. When I love who I am, it's gonna show. Honey, you're unique. Accept it. Love who you are. Go in that mirror and say, you know what? F people. F people, F people, what they say. F society. F the way standards are. How we supposed to look. Honey,
I'm fly, honey. I'm sexy.
If somebody got something to say about you, let them say it. Let them hate. Let them say it. Because guess what? You're going to do what you do at the end of the day. And you're going to keep going. That's it, and that's all. That's all I got for y'all today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I love you for who you are. Now you go out there and you love yourself for who you are too. Because honey, I could say all these big things to you, but I want you to feel it, and I want you to know that you are great the way you are. You are wonderful. You are magnificent. Call me corny, but I don't care. I'm sending so much love to you. You are happy, you are grateful, you are smart. You can do it. You can do it. Whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope anything I said has resonated with you, no matter how big, how small. Remember that you create your own reality. What you think is what you put out, and what you put out is what you get back. So be kind, think great things, think beneficial things, think love, think light. I love you. Peace.